yours. And this is our game. It's our time. And there's a bunch of guys trying to take it from us. So that makes this shit personal.
Hey, it's going down tonight, baby. Saturday Night Talk'n Bama. We in the house tonight, guys. JT here with my man.
JB, you know who it is, the man of the people. And we got our partner with us today.
Chris Beam, the Bama Maniac in the house.
Hey, the Bama Maniacs in the house tonight. We here, baby. Hope you guys are having a great night. We got a great show lined up first off, guys. And I'm going to go ahead and get our special guest in here tonight. My man from Way Offsides Cotton. My man's got their own podcast. My man's talking Bama. My man knows a whole bunch of stuff, and he's a diehard Bama fan, guys. So if you guys are in here right now in the chats, give my man some love. What's going on, Mr. Cotton?
Thank you for having me.
How you doing?
I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, man.
I don't know that I know a whole lot of stuff about Bama. Some stuff. Some things.
Okay. Well,
we'll see.
I see you tweet a lot, man, and I see you love the Tide, obviously.
Yeah,
You're a big supporter, just like all of us on this show right here. We're huge Tide fans. Just like our comments. Shout out to the folks in the comments, guys.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, so also, guys, we're not done yet. We got a returning guest tonight. JB, who we got? Who we got returning tonight?
Hey,
baby?
man, he said it was so nice last week. We had to bring him back for the repeat. My man, Stephen M. Smith.
Yeah, let's go.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
You got it.
Welcome back, man.
Man,
What's up, brother?
Man, I'm thrilled to be back, man. I mean, we got Bama loaded up, man.
Hey,
like
we
a box
$5 tonight.
like a box Chevy going down the highway.
Let's go. So, guys, before we go any further, we got to tell you guys who we're sponsored by tonight. And for our main sponsor, Workspace Solution, guys, if your business needs a digital presence, a full-fledged marketing team, SEO, and more, there you need to contact today, guys, right here at the bottom, workspacepros.com. But that's not all, though, JB. Who else? Who else we sponsored by, baby? Raise them up, baby.
You already know, man. The football season truly never ends. To support your team 365 days out of the year, you need to get your title towel. Go to whitwigsports.com, enter the promo code standard, get you a nice little discount courtesy of your favorite.
Oh, JB froze. Your favorite Bama network. I'll finish it for my boy. All right, so guys, we're gonna keep it moving though, guys. JB will probably jump back in here in a minute.
Get you a
oh, hold on. Are you there, bro?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you froze for a second, man. You froze for a second. Okay. Yeah, so I kind of finished, and I was like, wait, I didn't know what happened. So we'll kick off into the first segment, guys. I'm glad. Thank you guys for joining us tonight, guys. I'll see you guys in the comments, guys. We're going to go to new faces on the defensive side of the ball, and what impact of new faces. This can be a huge thing here. And we're going to kind of pass the mic around tonight. We got a lot of people joining us. We're going to let our guests go first and hear their takes, and then we'll kind of go JB, Chris, and I'll round us off. But I'm going to go my man, Mr. Cotton, tonight. We're going to ask you first. New faces / impact on the defense side of the ball. Any guys you have in mind?
Yeah, I got one guy I'm really excited about, and Red Morgan. Ooh. And I know we've all heard a lot about Mr. Morgan coming out of spring ball, but there's been some Caleb Down comparisons. And with Downs gone, we kind of need that guy back there. I think Alabama's. Let's be honest, man. If there's a unit you got to worry about with Alabama going into fall, it's going to be the secondary. We lost so much, and just the talk around this guy. What is he? He's let me see here. He is a 6 foot, 175-pound safety, man, coming out, and apparently he's just got ball hawk skills. He's good in run support. So you get a solid guy back there like that, especially when you partner him up with a Malachi Moore. And then you're bringing in some guys like Mbakwe, man. I'm stoked, man. I can't wait to see him.
He put Domani Jackson on the edge, man. And, he's a lockdown side, so that whole side, wherever he's at, he's good. And he's good open field tackler, too. Great there, Red Morgan. Yeah, we all love Red Morgan here for sure. Yeah. Huge Red Morgan fans there. Love that one. My man Smith, man. Who you feeling impact on the defensive side of the ball, brother? Who we feeling?
Okay, so this guy is not technically a new face, but he's a face that's ready and primed to see some action. I'm gonna go Qua Russaw. I think it's Qua Russaw time. That wolf bagger spot is him. He can explode off the edge. He can annihilate a quarterback. He can stuff the run. The guy was a killer at Carver High School, 334 at Montgomery. It's Russaw's time. When you watch this kid play, just nasty burst, nasty quickness, very twitchy guy, can affect everything in the backfield. I think it's Russaw's moment here.
Now, Steven, are you giving us some inside intel, or is just this you going from your 4 eyes?
So this is me going from my 4 eyes, but at the same time, this is also kind of some intel as well, just due to how Russaw did. I think the second scrimmage before the A-Day game, he was tearing stuff up. He actually got a major opportunity to get out there, and the dude was tearing stuff up. He's got an electric first step to get to the quarterback, and he's athletically, the kid's built. That's a grown man, and he's ready to show you why he's a grown man. So that's why I would have Russaw.
Okay.
Russaw. That's a great pick. That's one I listed on here. JB, who we got, man? Impact, new faces on the defense. Who we got, baby?
Man, he took my Qua Russaw pick, 334 Montgomery. You already know that's what I represent. So I'm going to go James Smith then, Stephen M. I'm going to up you one and go James Smith. Because last week you said he was going to be an impact player. You picked him to be impact. And I feel like it's time. They came to Bama together, both of the Carver kids, Montgomery kids, and the talent is there. I just feel like they need to be put in a position to put their talents on display. And with this new staff coming in, it's not like how Saban had it. And we all know this is no knock on Saban, but he had his guys that were going to play. It don't matter. He didn't really, he wasn't going to put you out there and really give you he gonna let
unless you was a Caleb Downs or like just that super freak that you just could not deny, So but that was one out of every outlier, out of a couple years,
But I feel like James Smith is, he fits the mold, and I feel like he's gonna break out this year, and he's gonna be a player on that defensive line.
Okay, James Smith. I was just about to ask what was the other guy's name that committed with Qua when they came, and I forgot it was him. I know they committed together, and I remember when we got both of them, I was like, that's a big deal because you're going to get camaraderie with those guys coming in together. They're like, hey, we probably won't start right off the rip, but we come in, head down, work together. It's good to have somebody next to you, right or left,
coming in with you,
when you're in a new environment,
They both
that's good. And they both stayed. Yes, what you just said.
Auburn was knocking on that door, man.
Oh,
I was about to say that.
They was on the phone, man. Hey. And the people that did stay, we all said this on Twitter, on all of our social media handles. All the Bama fans have said this, so this ain't me just air quoting nothing here. You stay and you become a legend, and that's meant. All these guys that have stayed, I think, will mean more later down the road than anything, man. I think it's going to be huge. So, Mr. Chris, who we got tonight, man? Impact of new faces on the defense. Who we got, baby?
Well, first of all, let me welcome all my Bama maniacs in the house, and I'm glad to be with you tonight, brother. I see a lot of things happening on the defensive side of the ball. I've been sold on day one since Keon Sabb walked on campus at Alabama.
Okay.
I like him. The reason I like him, he walks in with the experience. He's a shutdown, lockdown corner. He's ready to play ball. You team him up with Domani Jackson. You got Malachi Moore. You got experience on that back end. Plus, you got your new guys like Mbakwe and them coming in who are learning, who are going to be savages. I'm also very big on Qua Russaw. Saw something today. He's put on 19 pounds of muscle since he's gotten to Alabama from Carver Montgomery. He's really bulked up, and they're trying to get his weight up. He's 242 pounds. He's a big kid, They've got his weight up a little bit. He's a savage, and I'm looking forward to what he's going to do, destroying the defensive front on the line when he's out there. Also very high on Keon Keeley. I think that's the name that a lot of Bama fans have kind of let go by the wayside. But Keeley was a very high recruit when he was brought into Alabama. So I'm going to tell you like it is right here. I think defensively we're getting stronger, we're getting better, and we're going to send a message to everybody that it doesn't matter what time, what place, or who we play, baby. Bama's going to bring it.
Because we don't give up about nothing but the time, baby.
Don't matter.
In the words of my boy Willie, my good friend.
We're going to be ready on the defense. We're coming with a capital D this year because we have a statement to make.
No Diddy, but coming with no Diddy.
Oh, man.
Everybody was thinking it. He just said it.
On Saturday night, you got it live, baby.
Hey, just like the old wrestling guys, the Dudley Boys, 3D, baby. You're going to go either you go to the right, you're going to get defense. You go to the left, you're going to get defense. You're going to go to the middle, you're going to get defense, baby. 3D
I like
in
that.
Tuscaloosa.
Did you reference the Dudley Boys? I forgot about them.
He did. He just
we're going to have Devon on one side. We're going to have Devon Dudley on one side, and the other Dudley.
It's going to be like this. JB, hit the table.
Like that though, 3D, yeah, for sure.
That'll be lit, man. But yeah, so a lot of and the reason I bring these defensive questions up is a lot of people are like, hey, Kalen DeBoer is going to have the offense on go, and I believe that he will. So the defense becomes the biggest question in the room, especially after A-Day. Everybody is under a magnifying glass now of what this defense is doing. So that's why I talk about it every week. And there's a guy that I want to mention. He was briefly mentioned as we went through. Domani Jackson, a USC 5-star that's going to come in, guys. And when I say this, I'm not saying this just to fill the void of the Caleb Downs thing. I think he is, as in his position, will be as good as what Caleb Downs is in his position at where he played this coming year. Domani Jackson in the open field, go watch it. He tackled Jeremy Bernard straight open field. Nobody else did that really until it was way down the field after he done got 40, 30 yards or, then did a move on somebody. So that's big to see him being able to go up and tackle guys open field, also covering guys on his side. He'll be able to be a lockdown. I do believe Jackson is the real deal. And I believe, don't overlook this because this guy came from USC where people's like, he's a USC transfer, Don't buy that into it, guys. This is the guy. I'm telling y'all.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And he's going to be good.
I'll add to that, JT.
Go ahead.
People look at the whole USC thing, but Alex Grinch was not the best D coordinator at USC. Right. He was not.
Agreed.
So that was not Domani. That was
that's Alex, on the coach.
That's Alex Grinch not utilizing what Jackson does best as a long, athletic, rangy corner. Now he comes to Alabama where you've got Mo Linguist, you've got Colin Hitzler, and you've got the brain of this whole thing, Kane Wommack. Now we're going to see what Domani Jackson really is because now he's around real deal coaching. He's around guys that have coached in this conference. He's around guys that understand what it's going to take for him to be at his tip-top best. So now we're going to get a chance to see the real version of Domani Jackson.
Steven.
And I'm excited.
You think he starts day one?
I think so.
I do.
I mean,
I do. He's too good. He's too good.
You don't bring a transfer in to not start him. So I think the corner opposite him is the question because you brought in a transfer and Deshaun Jones from Wake Forest, who I think is sneaky good. You brought in the transfer from UC Charlotte, Cam Hayward, which I think he's pretty good. And then you have the one holdover from the 2023 class and Jaleel Hurley. And I think Hurley knows I got to get this done. I got to get this done this year. If it's not Hurley, then the one freshman to watch is Teach Tape, Zabian Brown. If Zabian Brown,
he's good.
If Zabian comes out of this with it, look out. Because that means Zabian has put it on these dudes if he's the one that comes out of here with it.
Our depth is going to be very good on that back end.
And Zabian Brown, if I'm not mistaken here, he's 6 foot, and pretty solid too. Like this ain't no little dude we're talking about here either. Like this is a good size guy here. What's up, Justin?
Breaking news: Micah DeBoer is officially committed to the University of
Alabama.
Yes.
That's what Cotton was looking at. I saw his face.
He was a Georgia boy, I think. He was a Georgia boy.
I was just about to say, what are you looking at? What are you looking at? Because your face gave it away in the camera.
Had to jump on.
Guys,
6'5", 320 pounds. This man
We're
is
clipping this.
Smaller. I want to see his birth certificate because I'm watching the film today.
Nothing but the time, baby.
He's a grown man, and a full-grown man.
It commits.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, Courtney Morgan, Kalen DeBoer, Chris Kaplovich, they're building this from the offensive line. They are building this from the offensive line.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing to watch too, man.
Oh, let's show it, baby. There we go. Let's go.
Look, that was a big boy.
Let's go. I love it.
Over on the show, Chris, he had lunch with somebody today.
I saw that. Tell me the story. No, tell me. No, go ahead. I saw it on Twitter.
I can't go into too much detail, but the comment was made that the trending verbiage in Tuscaloosa is cold summer. He said, but if you want to be honest about what's about to happen, I'd call it a cruel summer. Because apparently this is one of many dominoes that are about to fall. I knew this one was coming, baby. And there's a couple more on the way. Probably
I'm gonna say this. As great as Nick Saban was recruiting, even Saban didn't hit the iron this hot when he first got the Tuscaloosa.
Yes, correct. DeBoer is on fire.
Look at how hot DeBoer and Courtney Morgan has struck this iron. Like they have struck this iron hot. Like, by my goodness, on the offensive and defensive line, just by itself. Whoa.
It's crazy to think about. We were talking about this on the show this past week. There's a lot of talk about who's going to finish number one right now. Is it going to be Ohio State? Is it going to be Georgia? It could be Alabama. Who's going to finish with that top class? I think for Alabama right now, it doesn't matter.
It don't.
If DeBoer, Courtney Morgan, those guys can finish in the top three. That might be the most impressive recruiting feat I've ever seen. The fact that they're coming in and they're going to finish with a top 5, top 4, top 3 class after Nick Saban retires.
Look,
that's wild.
And have not coached a game yet in Bryant-Denny. And you finish with a top 3 class. You have not coached a game yet.
Crazy, man.
That just tell DeBoer know what he's doing.
Yeah. He knows exactly what he's doing. And to double back on some of that right here, guys, we'll kind of go to our next topic, and that's going to be what we were already talking about somewhat. Big official visits right now. What we learned, what will happen. We just learned what'll happen after these visits. We seeing what's gonna happen right now, And I saw somebody on Twitter a couple hours ago. I was scrolling. It was like, wow, it might have been you, Cotton. I don't know, but it was like, wow, I'm surprised we ain't got no commits yet, no action or anything. And I was like, yeah, I was like, I am too. And I'm thinking, and then boom, we're live on the show. Bam, committed, baby. Big Mike in the chat. We see you, brother. Yep,
sometimes you gotta be patient. Sometimes you just gotta be patient. It's
let them enjoy their visit.
Well, you need
let them enjoy their visit.
Keep in mind too that Nick Saban is still on campus. Nick Saban is still around. He may not directly be there every day, but he's still involved in the recruiting of these people. I can guarantee you some form of fashion.
Kind of not fair, but whatever. No,
it doesn't matter.
They ain't wearing crimson, right?
Hey, if they ain't wearing crimson, you know the rest, baby.
Yeah.
So kind of the official visits. We're gonna let my man Stephen M. Smith kind of break this down for us right now. Today's OVs, I wrote down. I put some just highlight right. These are not all of them. We have like 12 to more. I just don't want to. We're not going to run through every single one. I'm gonna run through like some big highlights that a lot of us are looking at. Dijon Lee, 5-star cornerback, number 4 cornerback in the nation. Caleb Cunningham, 5-star wide receiver. And those two right there are two hot ones that I think the Tide is prioritizing, looking at big right now. And their commitment date for Dijon Lee is June 28th. There's a lot of hype there for Bama. And Caleb Cunningham has kind of been all over the place a little bit, in my opinion. He's kind of been linked to here. He's been linked there. He's been here, a little bit of there. So just kind of break down these OVs today, if you will. Like, tell me what you think. What's the vibe? Maybe how things are.
Well, right now you look at first off, you look at Cunningham. I think Ryan Williams is definitely in his ear. I think Ryan Williams is for sure in his ear. He's been helping to try to flip a lot of these guys trying to come to Alabama. Another guy that visited today was Justus Terry on the defensive line. His mom captured a video of him today, and just the vibe of him being down there. He really enjoyed his time in Tuscaloosa today. So it is something where a lot of these kids, DeBoer, Courtney Morgan, they're getting these guys to understand, look, we want you. And they got the full court press on each one. It's like they get one to commit, and then they put the full court press in the next one. They put the full court press in the next one, the full court press. And what's nuts about this whole thing is, guys, people try to negative recruit by saying, well, that guy's not Saban. But then Kalen DeBoer can tell the recruit, hey, Saban's still here, though. And you can drive to the stadium, and Saban is still right there.
Yeah, you want to talk to him? Talk to him.
You want to talk to him? He's right there. And then you could have Nick Saban put his stamp of approval. Yeah, I love DeBoer. Stamp of approval right there, and the kid gonna commit despite the negative recruiting that other programs try to play. Here comes DeBoer. Like, well, if you want to go talk to Saban, there he is upstairs. You can go talk to Nick. Nick stamps DeBoer. That kid gonna commit right there.
Hey, Smith. So a true dog gonna see, like, first off, if if you a real candidate, I guarantee you at Georgia, they're not throwing that pitch because that's Kirby Smart. He's like, bro, I'm Kirby Smart. It's Georgia. I don't have to throw a sandbag line out to get you to commit. You see what I'm saying, like that. So, but there's some teams, like you're saying, that probably that are using that, and I think it just depends. When you look at that's wild to think that you got to throw us down to try to get you a commit, man. Wow.
It's wild, but JT and guys, if you look at this generation's athlete, they can see through all the clutter. They can see through all the clutter. These are some smart kids. These are some extremely smart kids. They see through it. They know Alabama recruits itself. They know the culture. They know the tradition. They know the winning vibe. They know the mentality. And then you add on the fact that, okay, you bring in a coach that just played in the national championship game just a season ago. And not just that, Nick Saban, yes, he may have left the coaching hat, but he didn't leave Tuscaloosa. That's the big thing. He may have left the coaching hat, but he hasn't left the city. So you mean to tell me that the man hadn't left the city, and you're gonna still try to negatively recruit against a program where the brothers still haven't left the city yet?
When the man's still in town?
The man's still drinking cognac out the bottle, still in town. What you
there was a 2026. I think he's a safety that visited this weekend. I saw right before we popped on here. He had tweeted, and that's what he said. He said, "Bama's still Bama." Yeah, and I shared it, and I sent him a message. I was like, "I'm happy to hear a young guy say that, man," because everybody's flashing these Lambos and stuff, these leased Lambos and stuff like that at these kids.
Leased.
And then the end of the day,
leased.
Don't fall for it.
Yeah. Look. Alabama is still Alabama due to the fact that Nick Saban literally set up Kane DeBoer for the next 3 years. He set him up.
We spoke that last week.
Yeah, we talked about that on our show.
He set him up for the next 3 years, but here's the kicker. Yep. The fact that DeBoer can do it himself too, like not only are you set for the next 3 years, but DeBoer is like, I appreciate you, Pop Saban, but I can recruit myself also.
You add it up, baby.
You add some more in there now. And then
I keep saying this, Steven. When he hopped off that plane and Courtney Morgan hopped off that plane with him, that was the major key. He's got the whole West Coast in his back pocket.
Yes, he does, man.
And his background from putting those teams together at Michigan and then what he did with Washington and all those connects, you at Bama with all the resources, man. Come on now.
Yeah. The other part of that is they went to work on that coaching staff almost immediately.
Yeah.
And what DeBoer did,
yes,
he started bringing in these guys, and a lot of Alabama fans like, I don't know this person's name, I don't know who this is. DeBoer did, and that person was from a specific part of the country. He built his own pipeline to these high schools, these colleges, and Alabama now has a network of coaches who have a reach all over the country. It wasn't just Texas, Florida, Georgia, things like that, like Nick Saban was doing. Now it's everywhere.
East, West Coast,
it's
up, down,
nasty,
sideways.
Man. The brand is unforgiving.
JB, what did you say? Hold on, real quick. JB, I'm going to let you go, Chris, right after this. JB, what did you say a couple months ago? And my boy said it. I'm going to go get the video, and we're going to run it back. But my boy said everybody needs to stay calm.
Yeah, don't panic.
Let DeBoer build the event. Let him build the Avengers right now with this coaching staff.
They
and do what they're doing.
Quickly.
And boy, that's so right. That is so right.
And they did it so quickly, man. And the way he did it, and they hit the recruiting trail immediately. And I mean, you got to give them praise, but we also have to give praise to guys like Freddie Roach and Rob Gillespie. The guys who stuck around. And
coaches that stay too.
Yeah, they know, and they know the roots, they know the area. So I mean, and like Smoke was on the Bama Standard a couple weeks back.
Yes,
and he said Freddie Roach is one of the top 3 recruiters in the country.
He is.
Hey, that's big. What was you about to say, Chris?
Go ahead. Chris.
There's one guy on the OB visit I'm really excited about, and this kid is Derek Meadows. He's a 4-star wide receiver.
Okay.
This kid's going to be the next grade. He is 6'5", 200. He's a big, long range wide receiver. But the thing I love about DeBoer, the thing I love about him, I kind of compare him to the Nick Saban of the West Coast, because if you notice, he's bringing in these kids from California, from these top end schools. He's not recruiting these little small don't. So he's recruiting Bishop Gorman. He's recruiting Mater Day. He's getting kids out of the big schools, and him having those connections on the West Coast, who a lot of those kids seldom come to Alabama. We generally recruited the southeast part of the country. But now with this man, we have the capability to go and cherry pick people out of the back door of California, who is a fantastic high school football state, loaded with talent. So, DeBoer, when he came to Alabama, he didn't come to eat popcorn and drink Pepsi. This man has put his shoes on. He has put his coat on. He has went to work. And I'm telling you something, he is making a statement. And I promise you, Kirby Smart and every other coach in the Southeastern Conference, including Lane Kiffin, is taking notice what Kalen DeBoer is doing. And they're saying, guys, we got to step it up. This man didn't come here Mickey Mouse around. He's bringing in 4- and 5-star talent. And our game is fixing to have to get elevated if we're going to compete, because the standard is across in Tuscaloosa, and we're going to have to start matching up with these guys again.
Now, the moment I knew that DeBoer was serious, right after his introductory press conference, what does he do? He gets Roll Tide Willie and brings Ryan Williams back on that commitment boat. The moment DeBoer did that, the first thing he said they had Ryan's whole family on campus for a visit. The moment DeBoer did that, when he got Ryan Williams back on board, recommitted and signed, I knew, okay, this is the man. This is the man. When he got Ryan Williams back on board, I knew right then, this guy's different. He ain't playing around.
He's and to get into Ryan Williams saying, touching base back on that, I think that was a big. We talk about a ripple effect from quarterback Keon Russell, like getting him and who we're getting now. I think if you go back to the Ryan Williams recommitment, I think that, like you're saying right there, I think that solidified a lot of what's happening now too, because you see a guy like, hey, well, this guy decommitted, and it was like, hey, this is what it is, and went back. So like, all right, so he went, tasted the water, see what's up, and then went back, So I think that's big, man. Getting him in and recommitting there. So we'll kind of stay on this path here too, and it's kind of to keep it on here. How do you keep these recruits committed? Now they are committed, and we're in the day of leasing Lambos, and who knows what'll be leased next in college football for a recruiting pitch. But how do you keep the guys committed? We'll start out real quick. We'll let Chris go, and then we'll drop down to my man Cotton, Smith, JB, and then we'll come back to me. Chris, how do you keep them committed?
Well, a lot of these guys some of them are early commits, and it's always, when you have the early situation, you always wonder, will they stay? Will they go? I think you got to bring these guys in. I think you got to give them a fair shake. You got to say, hey, You're just as important as the senior that's been here for 3 years. You've got to come in here and work and show yourself. You got to play them where their strength is. You can't come in and take, and I saw this the other day there, that Caleb Downs is going to be moving some of the offensive side of the ball for Ohio State. They're going to move him around a little bit on the offensive side too. But the thing is, you got to continue to stay and develop relationships with these kids. And that's one thing that Freddie Roach is fabulous at. Freddie Roach is a top line recruiter. He is good. I think DeBoer, but most importantly, Courtney Morgan being the general manager, there could have not been a better pick than Courtney Morgan to keep these. Somebody to stay in contact with the families. As the coaches are busy, they can lose contact with recruits and stuff, going through the process, getting things. But Courtney Morgan, his job specifically is to stay connected with these kids. Hey, we still want you. You're still as important tomorrow as you were today. You get them on campus. You give them a spot. You say, hey, let's get out here and work. You can help to win a national championship here. And they sell Alabama by the standard what Alabama has always represented. And that's how you keep those kids around.
Okay, so it makes a lot of sense there. A lot of that you just think about it, and like I just said, it makes sense. You just got to do these things, keep these guys in. Mr. Cotton, man, how you keep them committed? Simple question, but a hard kind of answer.
Oh man, it's psychology, man. It's 101. You got to make them believe in something.
Yep.
So when you got Alabama, who's been on this 17-year tear under Nick Saban, you trying to keep a class together and then bring in another class. What do you make them believe in? You make them believe that they're part of a rebuild, a new era, a new dynasty, a new whatever, however you want to phrase it. And Courtney Morgan is instrumental to that. Yes. And you see his approach on social media. You see all the really outside of Kalen DeBoer, the whole staff's approach on social media, and that's what they're doing. You feed them. It's kind of what Kirby Smart was doing the year before last when he got up there and was like, nobody believed in us, and everybody's like, what are you talking about? You were the preseason favorite to win it.
Favorites to win, yeah.
But you feed that to these guys. You make them hungry, man. You make them hungry. You're going to be the one to kick off that new dynasty. You're going to be the one to kick off the new era. And I think that's what you're seeing. That's why these kids, they're building that trust. They're coming in and they want to be part of that next special thing that Bama's about to kick off. And so I think in 10, 15 years, man, we're going to be sitting here having a very similar conversation about the next guy that comes in after DeBoer. So,
man, that would be, dude, if we had a run of Nick Saban and a DeBoer has half of what Nick Saban does, man.
Yeah, exactly. He's not going
to,
dude.
He does half of it, man. I mean, I'm going to be, with anybody, not just him, not knocking him, anybody, Saban's just Saban, but, makes a lot of sense there. My man, Stephen M. Smith's about to break it down for us, how we keep them committed. We got them locked in now. What do we do to keep it focused now, especially in today's world?
I think the main thing is these coaches have to stay in contact with these kids. You got to stay in contact. You got to call them. You got to text them, send them emails, carry a pigeon. I don't care what you got to do. You got to stay in contact with these athletes because the one thing that's on their mind is, if I'm number one to you, how am I number one to you? How am I a priority to you? And you have to continue to every day stay in contact with these athletes, call them, send them a text message, email, let them know, hey, you are a priority to this program. We don't, whether you are number one on our board, number two on our board, wherever you are on our board, we want you. Like Uncle Sam, I want you. I want you. So you have to stay constantly ahead of contacting these athletes, because when you don't, that's when it enters their mind. What, am I really a priority to them? And then they're going to look at another school out there that they may sense as, this school may look at me as more so their priority. So for these coaches, they have got to stay in constant contact with these guys.
So makes sense. Relationship with somebody, regardless what the relationship is, the biggest part of any relationship is communication. So talking to them all types of way, hyping them up on social media whenever you can, depending on, the rules with that too. There's probably obviously some rules with that, with, talking to players directly like that. I don't know. JB, what's up?
How about if you say, do you imagine how much your NIL value would increase if you won a national championship as part of this first inaugural team of Kalen DeBoer? That'll get somebody on campus in a heartbeat.
Hey, for real though.
Telling you
money,
it would.
Money
talk, baby. Money talk. So JB, man, how How we keep these guys committed? We got them locked in. How do we keep them committed?
So the logical answer is the money, but I'm not gonna go there. I'm gonna say you have to make them believe in themselves and believe they can contribute to the team.
Correct.
Believe they can contribute to a winning team. So I mean, you're gonna have multiple teams after kids, especially their 4 and 5-star talents. What's gonna make them different from coming to Bama or Georgia, Ole Miss? What's the difference? So you have to really see if they're going to be committed to the excellence, not just the money, not just the social media fame, and really be able to be a part of a team and something great. If you can get them to commit to that and they buy in, no matter how much the NIL value is, if they buy in, they're going to be legit and they're going to stick around and be loyal like the Malachis of the world and the Miros and the guys who stuck around. That's what you want.
Traditionally, the guys that you're talking about that buy in, they don't buy into the gimmicks. They buy, they don't buy into the flashy uniforms at Oregon or the Lambos in Austin or wherever else. What do they have them at USF today? But anyway, the guys that buy into what you're talking about, that buy into the program, those typically are the programs that you see that they're long standing. Alabama, Georgia, those kind of schools. So, that's
you're right. That's a big fact. Makes a lot of sense because when it's true and it's real and it's authentic, that's people know that. And when you got somebody that just wants to come work, get his money, get out the way, not be, have some flashy little, something show in front of them. Because I'm sorry, if I go to a place or I show up somewhere and I'm going to that place and it's a bunch of leased stuff, whips, I'm like, okay, cool. So you had a little bit of money to blow for a visit. Like, what did we? Like that could you just gave that to me. Like I would have been better. Like, so you go to Bama, you walk in there, and the other day Shepard's video went viral of him talking, had the receiver on the podium saying, not only are we going to develop you, we're going to get you ready for life after. And he's just preaching to the young man about life, about playing football, about being a better person, about being better him, like just being a better football player, teammate, brother, son, all those things. Like that also is I'm a father of 3. That's a sale quick to a parent when you have a man talking about he's going to be better with him, a family man, this, that, and life, working towards not just football, but life after football here.
True.
So I think that's big into mind to keeping them committed right there. I'm going to go into this right there. That's my thing. I think this coaching staff showing love in a different way of when I say showing love, they're actually showing genuine love to these boys. So like they're coming in, they're like, hey, we got your back. We trying to develop you. We trying to make you better after life, after football, life after football. We're trying to get you ready and set up for success for the NFL if that's what you can do. So I think that's a big thing, and DeBoer obviously seems like a really great guy. He seems like a very approachable guy too. I love Nick Saban to death. My favorite coach of all time, obviously, most of my lifetime. Do I feel like I would ever approach Nick Saban? No, bro, I wouldn't. Not unless he said something to me first and was like, hey, what's up, man, or something. I would never, ever do that. I'm sorry, I wouldn't. DeBoer, we got the same birthday. I'm like, hey, what's up, birthday twin? He gonna be like, what's up, man, roll tide. Like, I just feel like you can approach DeBoer a little bit better, So I think, and not saying not so knock, so nobody take that like and run with that. That's not a knock. It's just, you want DeBoer to be DeBoer, not Saban. Like you want him to be him, and that's keep these guys committed. True, authentic realness, man, and that's a big thing. So with keeping them committed, guys, we've talked about that. We talked about a lot of other stuff, guys. We got our man on tonight. I'm gonna let JB kind of take over right here to talk with our main with our special guest Stephen M. Smith about what he's joining us for tonight, what he's gonna break down with us, and we'll kind of go from there. JB, go ahead.
All right, Stephen. So last week we had you on and we talked about the team bonding activities these guys have been doing and, the summer activities. You hit me up about what they did for the Juneteenth, the kickball game. Tell us about that, Steve.
Okay, so this was crazy. So you got Jalen Milroe, Kobe Prentice, just everybody on the team. had a kickball tournament in Tuscaloosa on Juneteenth. And this is the most team bonding I have ever seen this program do in quite some time. Now, 2023, there was a lot of bonding there. Of course, that led to, Southeastern Conference title. You get to the college football playoff. But this team right here, whether they are playing kickball together, fishing together, hunting together, bowling together, you got just different guys that are in groups together. You look out the front door, you got Dre Kirkpatrick Jr., you got Ryan Williams, Red Morgan. They all in a clique together. Then the other side, you got Jeremiah Beeman, Jalen Mbakwe, QB Reese. They in a group together. Then you got offensive linemen together. You got defensive linemen together. You got linebackers together. Like, oh my gosh. Like, they are all clicked up in unity together, and they go out there and have a kickball tournament. Kalen DeBoer has really brought this family atmosphere to the table. And I go back to the teams that won national championships under Nick Saban. You talk about that 09 championship team. When you saw Rolando McClain, he had the whole block behind him. That was McClain in the whole block. You look at 2011, you saw Hightower and Upshaw was the whole block behind him. 2012, you saw AJ and the rest of the guys. You got the block behind them. 2015, you saw Reuben Foster, Reggie Ragland, Jonathan Allen, them cats. The whole block was behind them. And it all trickled down to the rest of the years there. So you look at this team, DeBoer has put a whole family. It's like if you see one of us, you're going to see all of us. It's got back to that. If you see one of us on the block, everybody is on the block with that one. To see that in that type of unity again is very special.
I like how you name drop there too, Steven. We like to hear names. We
love that.
Yeah.
And
the chat loves it too. The chat loves it too.
I'm just saying, like, when you saw them cats, like, they brothers was right there with them. It was a whole pack. And you're seeing that now with this year's team. If you see Milroe, if you see Booker, if you see Malachi, everybody's coming up. The rest of the gang is not too far behind those guys. You're seeing real unity with this team led by Kalen DeBoer, Kalen DeBoer called this his dream job. He was on Greg McElroy's podcast a couple of days ago. He talked about Alabama was my dream job. He said, I never thought, me being a kid in South Dakota, I would have never thought this would be my reality. But he said the dream job I wanted, I got it. And DeBoer is all in on it here.
So Steven, let me piggyback on that since you brought it up. So do you actually think that Greg Byrne had Kalen DeBoer in mind all along when Nick Saban was going to retire? Did he already have this in play, to your knowledge?
I think he did. But yeah, I know he did. I know Greg Byrne did. Greg Byrne and DeBoer go back a way. They go back a ways. So I kind of knew. I had an idea. I had an idea that this was going to be the move that Greg Byrne was going to make due to the fact that how confident Greg was when Saban came to Greg shortly after the season, and he said, Greg, look, I'm done. I'm going to retire. I'm going to walk out the door here. And Greg came to the people. Greg did not have a single ounce of worry in his tone. Greg came to the folks and said, guys, just give me 72 hours. I know who I'm going to get. Just be calm, be chill. Give me 72 hours. Everybody is freaking out. Greg is like, give me 72 hours. I'm like, I have an idea who Greg going to get. And at the 49th hour, when I saw DeBoer's name come across the ticker, I'm like, hot dog, I knew that was exactly who Greg was going to get, because Greg Byrne has always been one to think outside the box. When you needed a new basketball head coach, Greg Byrne and Nate Oates knew each other for a while. And Greg Byrne made that move to get Nate Oates from Buffalo. Look at what that's done. Alabama is right there with the Dukes and the Carolinas and the Kansases and the UConns. They're right there in that conversation basketball-wise. Now, here comes Kane DeBoer in here, and we're seeing how instantly he's striking that iron hot here with this recruiting. Greg Byrne has done something.
That's awesome. JT, you got something you want to say?
Yeah. So, when we're speaking about, that, and I'm going to let Chris and Cotton ask you any question you want next. But we, some news that just broke. They just had the Elite 11. Bama's quoting this from the Twitter people. The 3-star from SMU just won the MVP from the Elite 11. Yes, sir. So, and then the guy that wanted to go down all the kids and create this tweet to throw a lot of hate at this guy. He obviously didn't mention Tua, Joe Burrow, multiple other guys, Kyler Murray, Heisman winners that I just named right there that were also the Elite 11 MVPs, So, what does that mean right here for Russell, quarterback coming in? He's a 4-star, guys. I was joking with the 3-star. That was a joke. He's a 4-star quarterback right now, number 8 overall, number 1 dual threat. So what does that mean for us, Mr. Stephen M. Smith?
Here we go. I'll say this. So for Matt Moscona, who called the kid a 3-star, that's not the best homework done on your part. The 4-star kid, Keon Russell. But I'm going to say this right here. He's going to get the 5th star, by the way. He's going to get that. But what this does is, you are seeing a young man who plays at the most difficult level of high school football. Duncanville, Texas, that is the hardest region level of football. And that kid this past year did nothing but throw for over 4,000 yards, had 38 touchdowns to just 3 picks. So that tells you he protects the football, but he lets it rip. He's accurate with it. He can move. He recently came off the state championship for Duncanville, and at the Elite 11, boy, was he letting that thing fly. He could have very easily had 6 touchdown passes in that final game. He had one drop there, but the kid's special. The kid is special. And we saw when Tua Tagovailoa won the Elite 11 in 2016, where he showed up Trent Dilfer. And what does he do? He comes to Bama, comes off the bench, wins the national championship that year. Keon Russell, you want to talk about his goals are to win the Heisman Trophy. The kid's got goals written down on paper, like right now. So what does this mean? When he gets in here, he's going to be pushing Austin Mack. Yeah. He's going to be pushing Dylan Larnigan if Larnigan chooses to stick around. He's going to be pushing some guys, man.
I can definitely see that he'll be one of the guys that, like I said, it's a ripple effect. It's a ripple effect there. Mr. Cotton, you got anything for our man tonight?
Yeah, I think just everything Stephen said spot on. And personally, maybe I might be getting ahead of ourselves. I think Keelan Russell's going to push Dylan Lonergan out. But anyway, I think in the big picture of things, it's bigger for the program. Auburn just signed probably their best wide receiving class of all time, right? If that ball starts rolling into this next recruiting cycle, Bama's got this guy, DeBoer. Morgan can go, hey, look, this kid is who's going to be throwing to you. These guys like Lockett and Cunningham that we're going after, it's going to make them second guess going somewhere else when they can come to T-Town and they got this, just insane guy whose name's already big. He's been at the Elite 11. He's played, like Steven said, he's played on the biggest stage in high school football. He wants to win a Heisman Trophy. I'm going to go play with this kid. Not to mention he's playing now under an offensive guru who, Michael Penix Jr. was a Heisman candidate last year. So, it's big for the program. It's big for offensive recruiting, I think.
Yeah. It's usually the program when you can sit there and you can tell wide receivers that are thinking about committing to Auburn. Look, do you want to play for Peyton Thorne? Or do you want to catch passes from Keon Russell? Oh, by the way, this kid just won the Elite 11 and has got one heck of an arm. a very accurate arm. Do you want to play for this kid right here? Very quickly, some kids are going to say, can you sign me up for Keon Russ for 500?
I catch a couple of them from him. Chris, what you got for us tonight, brother?
I'll tell you what I think. I think there was some secret negotiations in Tuscaloosa, and this is not public knowledge. This is strictly opinion. But I'm betting you, if I was a betting man, and I'll bet you a Krispy Kreme donut to a Crystal hamburger.
Oh, okay.
I will bet you a Chick-fil-A sandwich, and I'll bet you lunch that Michael Penix Jr. was instrumental in getting Keon Russell to Alabama.
Boom, bingo. Absolutely.
Ooh, yeah.
I promise you, behind the scenes, it's not public, but Michael Penix was in Tuscaloosa just a few weeks ago.
Sure was.
He wasn't that better to play checkers with Kalen DeBoer. He brought him in to say, hey, and I do believe he was the defining instrument that kind of flipped Keon Russell. Say, hey, look what I was at Indiana. Look at what I was when I came to Washington. Look what he did with me. And now I got picked top 10 draft. Just think of the limit with you. But I do believe also, Stephen, and what you're saying, and Cotton, I believe what you're saying. I believe is Russell comes in. I don't believe only Lonergan transfers. I think Austin Mack transfers too. I think both of them leave. I think Lonergan will go somewhere like Arizona State, Arizona. I think Austin Mack will go back to the West Coast. He's going to get pushed. And I think you're going to have, because I think Keon Russell's the future of Alabama. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think Austin Mack is brought in to help others learn the system.
Yeah. That's exactly right.
I
don't think he's ever going to finish that.
Wow.
Amber Nicole right here. Huge fan of the show. Shout out to Amber. Thank you, guys. She had a question. Do you guys think we can get Terry? Apparently, Georgia is going to go after him. Stephen M. Smith, what do you think about this question we got right here, man?
Kirby's going to make a push, but I think Freddie keeps this one in Tuscaloosa. I really think Freddie. I think Freddie keeps this. I think Freddie has built a huge relationship with Terry right now. Yep. I think Freddie's telling him, look, man, you stick around right here. I'm going to start putting some guys in the first round of this NFL draft. You stick around right here. You're going to be one of them guys that's going to go in the first round in the future. I think that is what Freddie Roach is selling Terry right now, because Freddie Roach knows I got a shot to put a Tim Keenan in the first round, a Jaheim Otis in the first round, possibly a guy like a Keon Keeley in the first round in the future. I can put some dudes in the first round of the NFL draft. So he's telling Terry, hey, stick right here. I know over there in Athens may look attractive, but we got something right here. I think Freddie Roach is going to keep this around right here.
Now, Steven, give me a percentage of your confidence on that right there.
If I had to give a percentage, 75.
Boom.
Okay. Because Kirby has put some guys in the draft too, first round of Jordan Davis. He
has. Now, the pressure for Kirby, and I talked about this last with you guys. The pressure for Kirby is, can he really now try to make Georgia that gold standard? Because now Kirby's under the big pressure. With Nick Saban no longer the head coach at Alabama, people are looking at Kirby as this is your window to take it all the way over. If you cannot take it all the way over now, will you be able to? Because you won 2 national championships, but of those 2 national championships, there has to be an asterisk by both, right? Because one,
I agree.
if Jamison Williams doesn't get hurt, that one you more than likely don't win that one.
True.
And then you beat a TCU team that everybody and their grandmother on an oxygen tank knows shouldn't have been in there. So you win 2 natties off an asterisk. So now you look at Kirby like, Kirby, Nick ain't the head man no more. You got to really take this over.
Well, I can promise you. I can promise you real quick, right now we got to move on. I can promise you Kirby's smart is spending a lot of nights figuring out now on his defense how he's going to slow down Kalen DeBoer's offense. I can promise you that. He's sweating it. He's sweating it over there in Athens. I promise you.
Yeah.
Justus Terry will end up in Tuscaloosa.
Yes.
Okay.
He will end up in Tuscaloosa.
And if it happens, y'all can say y'all heard it here first.
That's right.
On Saturday night.
You can say you heard it here first on Saturday Night Talk'n Bama. And I think that we could end up with him. I'm ready for the June 28th Dijon Lee. I want to see that's going to be a big one if we end up getting him. But guys, I want to move on to the last two things we got right here, guys. These are two quick things. There's some of my favorite topics to talk about here at the end of the show. But real quick, before we get into it, guys, I do want to give a shout out to our sponsors real quick, though. Workspace Solutions, guys. Yes. If your business needs a digital presence, a full-fledged marketing team, SEO, and more, there you need to contact today, guys. Visit them right here at the bottom, workspacepros.com. JB, who else we sponsored by, brother?
And as you guys also know, the football season truly never ends. So to support your Crimson Tide 365 days of the year, get your title towel. Go to whitwillsports.com, enter the promo code STANDARD, get you a nice little discount, courtesy of your favorite Bama network.
Yes, Roll Tide. Chris, sorry I ran with that one. I was gonna let you do it, but I just ran with it. Sorry, brother.
Well, I'll just add this there. If you have not already, hit the like and subscribe button to this channel so you can stay updated on the latest and greatest out of Tuscaloosa. Hear it first right here on the Bama Standard on Saturday night.
Yes,
sir. So, guys, two quick ones, guys. Best Bama team to never win the Natty. We'll start there. Best Bama team that did not win a Natty. Okay. I want to lead off on this one because I've been going last all night. This is I know the two. There's three actually that you can make. There's more than three. I mean, there's more. There's three main in my head, but 13, 16, and 18 are the three in my head that I feel. I'm just like, dang, especially 18. 18's my number one. Them boys, there was NFL talent almost at every position. We played lights out all season. Tua's got snubbed to the Heisman. I fell. And then we go in there and just play so flat against Clemson, 4 times inside the 20, 0 points. So, I think that team right there, man, was probably the best team to not win a Natty, in my opinion. So, JB, and then we'll kind of go down and across and back up to Chris. What team you got, man?
Man, I'm gonna say that 19 team that when Tua got injured.
Okay,
what if he didn't get injured that year? And
you're right.
And hell, we barely lost to LSU at home that game. Tua goes down with bum ankle. And dog, I feel like we would have won the Natty if we would have got there with a healthy Tua. That was a great team, to be honest with you.
I agree.
Man, I would pick that. Like you say, it's a lot of teams you could pick, but I'm gonna go 2019.
There is.
It's off of recent memory.
Okay. Stephen M. Smith, best Bama team to not win.
I'm gonna go 2010, man. That 2010 team was stacked to
loaded.
The deck.
Yep.
That 2010 team was loaded. You had Mark Ingram, Trent Richardson, you had Julio on that team.
Yeah.
That team was stacked to the gills. And that team lost to South Carolina, Stephen Garcia, Alshon Jeffrey. I still hate that. That team lost to Jordan Jefferson LSU by 1. That still burns me up. And then we had Cam Newton in the Iron Bowl. Had him.
Fumble the ball.
Mark Ingram fumbles the ball out the back of the end zone. Man, 2010 we were stacked in 20. I hated that. 2010.
That fumble, man. That fumble was soul crushing, man. I remember watching that game, and that fumble was soul crushing.
Yeah. Just defied physics. Made no sense.
Who you got, man?
I'm gonna go with the 2019 and 2010. Those were actually the two I was gonna say. It is hard to wrap your head around the fact that Bryce Young and Tua never won a Natty as a starter. Like that is a tough thing to wrap your brain around.
Technically, because Bryce was the backup in 20 and Tua didn't start in 17. He came in and won it in a different way. So that is uniquely, dang it. Weird. That is wild.
The 2019 team, I'm with you.
Shout out to Tua. Shout out to Tua. So Chris, who we got, man? Who best team not to Bama team not to win Natty?
I'm agreeing with Stephen Smith. 2010, no doubt we were stacked. We had a boy from my hometown, Courtney Upshaw, was on that team from my hometown. Good friend of mine. 2010 we were loaded with defending national champions coming into. We should have won a few of those games. We lost some nail biters. Got a big rivalry going in my hometown right now. We got Yanze Pierre playing for Alabama. We got Ra Thomas playing for Georgia. They were teammates in high school where I live at. So those two guys have kind of got the city here kind of divided which way, who's going to get it this year. But yeah, 2010, if we're looking back at a team, I mean, those cats were loaded. They had NFL type people. I agree with Stephen Smith 100%. That team, I think we should have went back to back. You know, the people on 4 feet. The people a little north of here on the pasture got lucky in that last Iron Bowl game. LSU, we should have won that game. South Carolina, the Garcia, Alshon Jeffries, that was just a bad bum on that one. But 2010, no doubt.
Final ball, Centrance. You like how I did that, don't you?
I love that. I need more pyro. I need more passion. And if
okay. Hold on. Coming to the stage now. Acknowledge him. He is the guy, the man, the myth, the legend, Justin Riley, the final Bama ball. Dun, 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 dun.
And if I could get some action figures, that'd be nice for our
okay, we'll work on that. We'll work on that one next.
Let's do it, man.
I got a couple of them. I got 2 of them out of left field, but I'll go with 2014 first. With Amari Cooper and the guys that still won it the very next year, they were all there. Blake Sims, I feel like, should have won it. Had no business losing to Ole Miss and Oxford. Just a lot of freak things going wrong that day. And then Lane Kiffin single-handedly cost us the game against Ohio State. Let's just call it what it is. You stop running the ball when it's working, and he elects to pass the ball. I don't get it. That's a big head scratcher.
Yes.
And I'm going to jump out of the Nick Saban era. I'm surprised no one else did that. 2005, we don't lose time on pro throw. We're winning the national championship. We had the number 1 defense in the country that year, guys. I don't know if y'all realize that.
Man, God, and then that 2005 team, God, yes.
It was 31-3 if you were still in the game.
I'm going to go back even further. 1994. That group, they only lost 1 game. That was to Steve Spurrier by 1 point in the SEC championship. That group actually beat 2 Heisman Trophy winners, one of which was Eddie George. Those guys were loaded. Put a lot of guys in the NFL in that team. Should not have gone without a natty. The great Gene Stallings should have had more than 1 national championship.
That's some good.
And I agree.
That was some good team.
That was some good teams, some great teams, and Gene Stallings, I 100% agree with that statement there. But we're gonna kind of go to our last one, guys. We're in overtime right now. We call that OT, but it's gonna be our last one right here, guys. Saban's best natty team. So the best team to win a natty under Nick Saban. You know, what team is that? I'll go last this time. We'll let JB start us out. We'll kind of go from there. JB, best team.
Man, that's hard.
It is. It is very hard.
Boy. Dog. I want to say, what year did Mark Ingram win the Heisman? Was that
09.
09. Boy. Either that or that 2011 team, man. That 2011
really good.
I'm gonna say the 2011 team, man. The way they dominated LSU in that national championship.
Oh boy, that was the ultimate thing.
Man, you know, I'm gonna go 2011. We've had a lot of great teams, but that 2011 team, it just sticks with me. And the way, like I say, the way they dominated in that national championship game and avenged their only loss to LSU early in the season, I'm gonna go 2011.
2011, and yeah, like you just said, avenging the loss. I think that's the big thing there. Stephen M. Smith, who we got, man? Best Saban natty team.
Man, I was gonna say 2011, but I'm gonna switch it up here. I'm gonna go 2015. I'm gonna go 2015. Derrick Henry knew I had to be the guy. Drake was hurt the year before. Damian Harris, Bo Scarborough came in young, so Derrick took it all on himself, which was huge. Calvin Ridley, freshman, phenomenal year. Jacob Coker had his coming of age moment as a quarterback. And defensively, the move we made to put Eddie Jackson at safety, and what that did for our defensive secondary, playing Ruben and Reggie both at linebacker. The freshman year Minka had. Cyrus came into his own, not just as a corner, but as a punt returner. 2015.
2015. Great one there. Cotton, who you got, man? Best Saban natty team.
Well, I know everybody wants to add an asterisk to it because it was just a weird season, but that offense, that 2020 year,
man, that was a great year.
Unmatched, man. Do you realize what we had on that field? How many first-round wide receivers were starting? Three. Then you had Mac Jones throwing. Come on, man.
Talk about the all SEC schedule.
Look,
yeah.
You had Najee Harris running. You had a Joe Moore. You had a Joe Moore Award offensive line, and you had Steve Sarkisian.
2020, baby.
Yeah,
2020.
That's a good one, boy.
2020 is a great one. I love 2020. Chris, who we got? Best Saban team to win an Natty.
I'm kind of split. I'm kind of going to go with Steven. I like that 2015 team for the simple fact that nobody believed in Jacob Coker. He grew up as the year went on. He became an elite quarterback. I mean, your running back, Derrick Henry, had to tote the load. He stayed healthy. That team had to grow up, and they were hungry. And as they grew, they got better throughout the season. But that 2020 offense, man, them boys were smoking. Now, I'd say 15 or 20 is probably the better two teams of Saban's.
So I agree with all that, guys, and I'm glad nobody picked who I'm about to pick because it means a lot to me. So I was born in 92. The year I was born, we won a Natty. The year my dad was born, they won a Natty. And like every year, so my sister had the first kid, won a Natty in 09, okay? So every year somebody had a kid in our family, like we won a Natty, and it was just crazy. So my first daughter was born in 2017. And we won the Natty on 2-26. And when I tell you that one right there meant so much, I tackled my Christmas tree. I ran outside with it.
I bet you did.
Y'all thought my video when I went viral for that Auburn one was good. I got to see if Mia has this one still, my wife. She might still have it. Dude, I went crazy. I was running we live in a neighborhood then. We live in the country now. I live in a neighborhood then. Dude, I'm outside at like midnight almost screaming at these people, Roll Tide. Half the neighborhood was outside too. We're all just outside, Roll Tide! Ah! That was just that. But never won a game like that at all. And that walk, I've never seen Saban look like that. Like Saban went from why did you take the sack to touchdown? We won. We just like that excitement on his face was just like pure joy. It gave me one of the best sports moments in my life. Yeah. And I just love the 2017 team. Also, the camaraderie right there, too, with Tua and Hurts. We seen it first there. Hurts wasn't bitter after that loss. Hurts was hugging that man. They was hugging each other. It was all love, and, yeah. So, I'm definitely going 2017. Justin, who we got?
I just want to ask a question. And maybe we need to have some counseling. I don't know what it is, but your aggression issues. This seems to be a pattern with you.
No, so listen. I stay at home. I tell people this all the time. I stay at home and watch the games because I pay my bills. Okay. It's my house. And I can do what I want and say what I want and act crazy as I want at my house.
I've got the solution for this.
What's up?
At your house, we call it the blue light. You remember Kmart used to have the blue light special? You could go in Kmart and they had the blue light. But see, in your neighborhood, when you go crazy, blue lights come in your yard. It's called the blue light special. There's something about people coming to your neighborhood, man. When you're out there running around in your pajamas out there tackling Christmas trees, they're thinking, okay, Xanax, help, Valium, help this young man, please. You got a blue light special going in your yard on game day, brother.
Oh man, that's funny there. That's a good one. That's a good one, Chris. Just passion. Yeah, it's all passion, guys. And for my video, I talk about this a lot. My wife, we're gonna be doing the videos again this year. But I act like that every game. It ain't just. She just decided to record me last year, and it blew up crazy. And I think because that's how I met JB. Mm-hmm. That's how Saturday Night Talk'n Bama came about. I was supposed to actually be a guest on JB's show for this show right here. But I took it to TikTok. Things took off. I met Justin. Me and Justin got cool. Justin liked what we were doing. We brought the show to YouTube. That's how we met Stephen M. Smith. Or that's how I met Stephen M. Smith. JB, I think, had met you elsewhere. That's how I met my boy right there. Cotton, I first interacted with you on Twitter. I think I ran into you there, man, and watching your shows and stuff. And, that's kind of where this show, we're, 10, 11 episodes in now, I think, here on the YouTube channel. And we're doing great, man, and we're blessed to have both of you guys come on tonight. I also want to make sure that everybody in here real quick, Cotton, tell everybody where they can find you at, man, and your podcast and what you and you guys do, man, and what day it is and stuff.
Yeah. We're just 3 regular dudes. We could be your neighbor as far as you know.
Hey,
I graduated from Alabama. I got 2 degrees. I used to work for the athletic department. So we've got some ends and things there as well as across the state. And man, we just 3 regular dudes that get together and love talking football. And among other things, it goes off the rails sometimes. That's why it's called Way Offsides. That's way with 4A because 3 was not enough and 5 was too many. So we went with 4. You can find us everywhere. We're trying to, we just made the jump over to YouTube from Spotify. Spotify's popping as always, but so we're trying to figure out this YouTube thing and get it growing. So you can find us there at Way Offsides with 4A's. Super active on Twitter. You guys know that. I think I interact with most of you. Steven, you don't know me, but I interact with you on Twitter a lot too.
I know. I'm aware.
The Way Offsides. If I'm ever mean to you, I'm sorry. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, man, you find us everywhere on Spotify, TikTok, which we got to get together and talk about these editing skills you got with your TikToks, man. I got you got to get a class or something, but yeah. So that's what we got going on. Come and follow us, man. We're moving into some recruiting stuff, possibly looking at the possibility of hosting some camps next year and things like that. So kind of moving into the talent portion of things over the next 12 months. Looking forward to the season, man. We do live watch parties. We do After Dark, which is next Wednesday at 9:00. That's kind of our unhinged, uncensored show. So you guys hop in there with us next week.
I caught that one I think it was last week I caught that one. Yeah, you guys, man, I like what y'all do, man. Like you just said, 3 regular dudes. Me, JB, and Chris, we're not nobody, super crazy either, man. Like I said, we just some fans that keep up and we track things a lot here. Justin, who just liked your tweet?
Courtney Morgan did. Because I'm the final boss. You say you're not too crazy? Are you kidding me, brother? Your videos, sir. And there's another one that you have not told people about. I don't know if y'all know this. JT is a big wrestling fan. He was actually at his church revival watching WrestleMania when Cody finally pinned Roman Reigns and he finished his story. Right after that moment, he tore his shirt off and he took out a whole deacon board.
Greatest thing ever. I love the way it just pops out.
We got to talk about that one.
Yeah.
No, that did not happen. That did not happen. And for everybody in here real quick, guys, I want to touch back. Cat Pool was our first jersey winner. We did a couple weeks back. Cat, I'll be in touch with you about that coming in soon. Another thing, guys, tonight we had a lot of people in and we want to do a giveaway. We've kind of been chatting about it. I'm kind of feeling a little generous. There's a lot of you guys in here tonight. So when this video posts in the next 5 minutes, go leave us a comment in the video, comments about the show, and I'll put you in. Next week we'll start the show with me drawing names. We'll start the show out. Boom. We'll do a giveaway first thing to start the show next week. But Stephen M. Smith, real quick, tell the folks where they can find you at and everything you got going on, brother.
Well, they can find me touchdownalabama.com. That's touchdownalabama.com. And we are taking you through the summer, but still giving you your Bama football content, whether it's team bonding stuff, recruiting stuff, current team stuff. Doesn't matter what it is. We got you taken care of right there. And media days, I will be in Dallas, Texas on July 19th. So I'll be at the Omni Hotel trying to not be too inconspicuous, but I'll have some fun down there in Dallas.
Hey.
Okay.
So just because it's Bama, let's go, man. My man, yeah, you right, man.
That's how Ephraim, man. Ephraim with the $10.
My man's always in here, man, and be leaving us great comments too, man. Thank you, brother, always being in here.
We appreciate that.
Showing love and stuff, guys. Thank you guys so much. That's all we got for tonight, guys. But just know this. Stay locked in, guys. We got a lot going on with the Tide right now. There's comments going to be coming in left and right. You've heard that all throughout the show. Everybody dropped what they kind of knew a little bit. I'm going to end the show, Justin, end the show in 5 seconds. June 28th, we are getting Dijon Lee.
Roll.